on now, really? Yeah.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer.
That's what's up. That's what you get. He should have finished me when he had the chance. He's a...
Marking the rest of them.
Oh, hi.
Oh, come on now, really? Yeah.
Why are we still here?
I just want to see the Arkham Knight Batmobile.
Yeah, it's a Lambo. The chassis.
That is absolutely insane. Get out of here. It's all carbon. All the details. How do you get in this? This thing's nuts. Look at this.
Right here, you rich.
They got switches on the ground. Then you got the bat symbol on the wheel. Some gold detailing. It's on the road! It's on the road. Look at this. Okay, I've never seen anything like this, you guys.
Some motherfucker got way too much money.
Talking about AI in video games. Let's check it out. So here we are on the website Replica. You got smart NPCs for Unreal Engines, AI-powered characters that can scale your open-world games much more simply. You got talk to any NPC in real time, AI voices with emotions, scale unique NPC characters for your world. NPCs can talk to each other. Okay, we're deep in the Matrix now. Let's see if we can find anyone to talk to. Let's see. Should we put on like a New York persona here? Hey, buddy, how's the day?
Just leave me alone.
Hey, I'm just trying to be nice. This is the New York persona.
Fake nices.
Nicest. I'm not fake, bro.
I said leave me alone.
I said I wanted to be nice. This guy's a jerk. Okay. Alright, see ya. I don't trust a guy with a backpack. Hey, how's your day going?
You know what they say about New York. Never trust a stranger.
I'm not a stranger, I'm a friend. Always trust a stranger, kids. Just kidding.
No. Sorry. I just have trust issues.
Hey, me too.
Well, don't take it out on me.
I'm not, I was being nice. These people are mean.
That's what they'll all say before they stab you in the back.
I don't have a knife to stab you. See what he says to that one.
I guess I overreacted.
Yeah, you did. I'm just trying to be nice.
I'm sorry. It's just that this city can be tough sometimes and I'm always on guard.
Yeah, we get it, buddy. Right. Hey, I'm walking here. You better watch it. Do you want to get some alcohol with me?
Sure. Let's go get some drinks and cause some trouble.
Let's get into a fight.
Sorry. I'm not up for a fight. Let's just enjoy our drinks in the city.
Okay, I get it. You're boring. Calling him out on it. We like to fight you in New York, buddy.
I'm not boring. I just don't want to get into trouble. There are plenty of other ways to have fun in this city.
Well, you're born into a fighter. Yeah.
Cyberpunk 2077 has come a very, very long way since its disastrous launch that happened around 30 months ago, 2.5 years ago. CDPR as a publisher, as a developer, as a company has changed because of it. Perception of CDPR has also changed. It's gone from uproar to skepticism to kind of optimism. Things will certainly never be the same like those glorious, euphoric pre-release days, but the reality check CDPR has faced has brought us to a point in which the game we were supposed to get in 2020 is now in many regards coming in 2023. The journey to this point has been long, with CDPR for the last couple of years bringing about steady improvements to the game, along with the implementation of various features that many wanted day one, such as transmog and the ability to buy new apartments, among other things. They've also done a good job supporting the modding community, which has allowed Cyberpunk 2077 to flourish. There's a reason why just on Steam alone this game usually has around 30,000 players concurrently. Romance is enhanced, more interactivity in Night City, a third-person mode, vehicle combat, vehicle customization, being able to fly your own vehicle, new outfits, weapons, more vehicles, various gameplay upgrades, UI overhauls. All of this is just a few examples of how modders have enhanced Cyberpunk 2077 and kept it alive, and now in just a few months we are going to be getting the last big finale for Cyberpunk 2077 with its 2.0 reboot. That's actually what it's being referred to based on the most recent patch for the game that set the stage for Phantom Liberty. That came just a couple of days ago, that being patch 1.63, a smaller update being around I believe 6 gigabytes on Steam and 30 gigabytes on consoles, brought about even more bug fixes and improvements to performance. But CD Projekt Red's developers, those who are working on Cyberpunk 2077, and the game director of this upcoming expansion of Phantom Liberty have been conducting various interviews the last week or two, and the messaging has been the same. It's that they are aiming to correct the original game's course, the mistakes that they made. They're trying to make the true experience that this game should have launched in 2020. We saw this interview from Bloomberg in which it says specifically that they're aiming to redeem Cyberpunk 2077 with the expansion. Gabe Emmett-Gello told Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, there's an absolute dedication to what's needed to be done to make it right. Furthermore, his team are now finishing the expansion, and CD Projekt Red's board of directors, the management, gave them total freedom to make it right, including all the time and resources that they requested. And again, this was not something that was done overnight. We've seen CD Projekt Red kind of almost silent the last year or so. And that has been them working hard at trying to transform this experience. We talked a lot about this in my last video, but Susie Hunter, who got to play about an hour or so, puts this perfectly into perspective. A lot of the changes that are coming with Phantom Liberty, or I should say patch 1.7, which is coming beforehand. I got to play a lot of Phantom Liberty, and my ultimate takeaway is that in the past 3 years, CDPR has essentially remade the entire game. Every single fundamental mechanic is improved, and that's actually what Pavel Sasko, one of the lead developers on this game, has said. Almost every single system, they've improved. Leveling is now skill-based, so you're unlocking new attacks and abilities, not just getting small stat increases. Clothes no longer give you stats or armor. Stats come from your cyberware, which places greater emphasis on customization. You do have a body limit, so you can't build out too much without taking a health point decrease, which makes you actually think about how you customize yourself. The police system is everything you wanted. Max Tech comes in via dropship. Police and gangs now chase each other and you. Leveling cyberware on a new skill tree unlocks special abilities like overdriving your gorilla arm punch, smack enemies into the stratosphere. AI is vastly improved. They block and hide behind cover. The melee combat feels a lot better, and dodging is now its own button. You can anime zip to a point now instead of doing that tiny hop. There's also stylish executions on its own button, and you can block bullets with your blade weapon. And again, what was most surprising about all of this is that CDPR didn't really use any of the presentations, the summer gaming events, to really hit home on this huge update, patch 2.0, which I thought was patch 1.7, but no, it's literally 2.0, which makes sense because this is a huge overhaul to the experience that's coming before Phantom Liberty. This was confirmed by community manager at CD Projekt Red, Lalea, saying the next big update is not part of the expansion. No, it will be released before Phantom Liberty. When that is going to be, that'll be announced later on. It seems like CDPR is still having discussions about that and what content will be included within that free update versus the paid expansion of Phantom Liberty. Now, within the last couple of days, we have learned a lot more about the upcoming content for Cyberpunk. It is quite a bit. Obviously, we talked extensively about the skills overhaul, the cyberware overhaul, and all the other stuff that has been changed, but we have gotten a better idea on other aspects of the experience that have been altered. especially in regards to Phantom Liberty and some of the new content that's going to be happening within that. We had PlayStation Access, they got a preview session of the game, and first of all, they revealed that there's actually going to be a vendor for Iconics, which I thought was pretty cool, especially because there's some really nice weapons and stuff that you can miss out on if you're not careful within the base game. This is what they said from their preview session.
And then they've also added just loads of little cool bits and bobs. For example, there's a very special vendor who you'll encounter, and what makes them special is that they can offer you weapons with the golden background that you may have missed in the base game, so then you can go visit them, and if you did miss them, there's an opportunity for you to obtain them through them as well, which is really, really cool.
And I do think that this is part of the black market of Dogtown. This is a place where trading is going to be. There's some unique items that we can pick up from the vendors here. There's also unique cyberware. Some of it's called dangerous, it's powerful. It was mentioned in this preview gameplay video that was uploaded that I think a lot of people missed. It's just a small little video going over the black market, but it's mentioned that some of the cyberware will have the ability to air dash, we'll be able to see through walls, and they even mentioned us being able to change our appearance to, you know, stop the cops from being able to find us and stuff, so that'll change the heat. So I'm guessing we'll go from like 5 stars to 0. So, and that is apparently a type of cyberware. So that's what I mean, there's different layers that are being added, substance that can really alter the entire experience. That's why playing Cyberpunk 2077 for the first time right now doesn't seem to be, like a lot of people are saying, wait on that. Wait until Phantom Liberty comes about, wait until patch 2.0 is here, because this game is going to be totally transformed. And in addition to this black market gameplay, we also got a little bit of a preview to the police force that controls this area, because it is not the NCPD. Pavel Sasko goes over their role within this DLC.
The Barghest is the authorities of Dogtown, and they are more dangerous than NCPD. When you as a player commit crimes in Dogtown, they are the guys who are going to chase you. We have completely overhauled the police system. Police actions are more believable, dynamic, and diverse.
And that's actually what I'm very curious to see. It's going to be seeing how they are different than the NCPD. Do they have unique abilities? Are they more hostile towards V? Do we see them attacking other, citizens like we see in this gameplay preview? Going to be very interesting. And now going back to the PlayStation Access video that I just brought up a little bit ago, there actually was some unique gameplay that was shown within that, showing off some of the new upgrades to various systems within the game. But first, and as has been on the screen right now, is the Berserk mode. It looks like more of a visual upgrade, but it definitely looks very intense and a lot of fun to use. And we've heard a lot of people discuss about the new melee movements and finishers and stuff. We actually got a look at a new Mantis Blade finisher here. In keeping with new melee finishers, the Kukri knife, I believe I'm saying that right. It looks like V stabs his enemy with it. It looks very brutal, very cool. And I do want to give a shout out to YouTube user Pablo397 for these finds, but if you slow down the footage, as you can see, the bounce back health kit has been changed. Another thing that has been overhauled, its look and such. And again, sticking with that subject, it does look like the healing items and our grenades now automatically recharge, which does put into question, the 300 of them that we collected. Is that now obsolete, maybe? Here next, we have our first look at some of the new weapons and mods. And I'm actually very excited about some of these mods just because they bring different abilities and such. In the base game, there wasn't a lot of that. But here we have plus 15% critical chance with ricochets, minus 25% bullet spread, and then a couple of others that are just for specific weapons like smart weapons. And then here we don't know necessarily any of these new weapons, but they look very cool in their design. And with the introduction of new enemies, we have our first look at some of these special abilities of a Barghest soldier. This one specifically, a sniper, has a combat stim, charge jump, and flashbangs. Very cool, very hopeful that we see a lot more of this with the different enemy variety that we see in this DLC. And then if you look very closely at one scene during this gameplay, you actually see some new unique NPC interactions or dynamic events. We have a couple of them, looks like they're trying to rob this little machine here, and I really do hope that we see a lot more of this within the DLC and also the overall open world of Night City. It gives a little bit more life to the world, something that I do feel like was missing from the base game, something a lot of people have brought up over time. And lastly, we actually have the first spotting of the relic points. These are things that we'll find within Dogtown, and we'll be able to use these points for the new skill tree, which have certain unique abilities that we'll be able to use for our character and our playstyle. And shout out to Reddit user Mr. Nobody for these finds from this PlayStation Access video. But first up, he mentions that new weapon mods and UI, clothing no longer has mod slots. Regardless of rarity, there's also a new weapon stat, armor penetration. And I just really do dig this new look. It gives you a better insight, I think. others. In this next image, it says new weapon mod to reduce recoil, and as you can see, minus 20% recoil when aiming from cover. We have a new iconic tech shotgun. The order is mentioned here. This Corporal exclusive iconic weapon now has 50% armor penetration, and it appears its bleeding status effect has been removed. As you can see here, a quick time event where you may need a high body attribute. I'm hoping we see more of that within this DLC. That was one of the criticisms of the base game, was that our stats, the role playing, it really didn't matter all that much. There wasn't enough of this, and I think CDPR has heard that criticism, as you can see, with this first instance of needing maybe.
I don't know. I think I may actually try to play Cyberpunk again. It was an okay story. I'm just reading some of the title clips. Judge declares mistrial after jury deadlock in YMW Melly double, and that's where it ends. I guess a double homicide or double something 13 hours ago. Somebody got off on murder. Let's see.
In the double murder trial of YNW Melly.
After days of deliberations, the jury was deadlocked, leading the judge to declare a mistrial. And Local 10's Joseph Ojo was at the courthouse in Fort Lauderdale with reaction. And what happens next?
And decisions ending after 3 days, with the jury not able to come up with a unanimous decision to decide the fate of YNW Melly. After considering all the facts, jurors in YNW Melly's double murder trial unable to come up with a unanimous decision Saturday. On Friday, they asked for cell phone records and told the judge they were deadlocked. Melly's defense team thanking the jury for their efforts throughout the trial, but adding they were expecting a different result.
We are somewhat disappointed that Melly is not walking out the door with us.
Melly, whose real name is Jamel Demmons, is accused of murdering Christopher Thomas Jr. and Anthony Williams in October of 2018. Surveillance video shows the group leaving a Fort Lauderdale recording studio that night, and prosecutors say Melly shot and killed Williams and Thomas soon after.
Jamel Demmons was sitting in the back seat of that Jeep, and he was the one that fired the fatal shots that killed Christopher Thomas and Anthony Williams.
Investigators believe Melly and another friend then drove the car to a secluded part of Miramar, where they are said to have staged a drive-by shooting to use as a cover story. But Melly's defense team has maintained there are major holes in the state's case, even bringing their own witness who said Melly learned about the murders at the same time as the rest of their friend group.
There's a lack of evidence, there is a conflict in the evidence, and the evidence itself, and the investigation itself stinks.
Did have a chance to decide on a lesser charge. This case will be retrialed, so we will keep you updated. We're here in Fort Lauderdale. I'm Joseph Ojo.
So how many mistrials can you have? So if he went up for double murder, and the first trial is a mistrial, you got to retry it with a whole different set of jurors. How many times can they actually do that? How many times can you have a mistrial? After a mistrial, the government can decide to take the case to trial a second time. Let's say the second jury also cannot reach a unanimous verdict, and the court grants a second mistrial. How many times can DOJ try a case after a hung jury? DOJ jury shopping for conviction. When a jury cannot reach a unanimous verdict, it's called a hung jury. The court will grant a mistrial. This is generally considered a win by defense lawyers because it's extremely difficult to win a complete acquittal. However, if you think a mistrial is the end of the case, you'd be wrong. After a mistrial, the government can decide to take the case to trial a second time. Let's say a second jury also cannot reach a unanimous verdict and the court grants a second mistrial. Well, the government can keep taking the case to trial in theory until the jury reaches a unanimous acquittal or a unanimous guilty verdict. The chicken price fixing case. This is what happened in a criminal antitrust case in Denver, Colorado about alleged price fixing in chicken processing industry. This is a massive case with 10 defendants. There was a hung jury the first time around. The government tried the case a second time, and there was a second hung jury and a second mistrial. And the government at this point dismissed the charges after 5 or 10 defendants, but it's doubling, tripling down on the remaining 5 and seeking to try them a third time. There are no short trials. There are multi-week trials in federal court, eating up the time of the judge, the court staff, jurors, lawyers, and people on trial. Trials are expensive. When I'm in trial, I'm regularly working 14-hour days for the month before trial and the entire time in trial, including weekends. Multiply those hours by the hourly rates and the $700 to $1,200 range, and you can only imagine how much these clients have paid. Nah, I'm not gonna keep doing all these mistrials. So in theory, you can keep mistrialing forever. So a guy might not get off as easy as he thought he was.
What are you doing?
I would love to see you at a Pizza Hut takeout one day in 5 years, as you're getting your fucking Bentley with your Chanel shades on. I'm like, what the fuck, Bobby? That's you? You're like, it's me, nigga.
I'm not gonna say that.
Huh?
I'm not gonna say that. But you can continue.
Okay. But you're like, it's me, nigga.
I'm not gonna say that. Please don't put words like that in my mouth.
What?
I'm not gonna say that.
Say what? What's up? You wouldn't say what's up? Oh, you wouldn't say it's me. You'd just be like, nigga.
I wouldn't say that.
Oh.
Please don't do that to me.
Do what?
Don't say that I would say that. I wouldn't say that. You know I wouldn't say that.
I don't know you wouldn't say that. We just meeting.
Okay, I wouldn't say that. I would like the record to state that I wouldn't say that. Don't laugh at me.
Okay. I am.
Okay. Why are your teeth so white?
Why are my teeth so white?
Yeah. Are they real?
Really mine.
You grew them yourself.
I paid for them myself.
Do you have veneers?
I do have veneers.
That's why they're so white.
Well, you're pretty smart.
Frustrated.
Bosses are being told to destroy COVID vaccination data collected about their staff. WorkSafe says regulations have expired today and employers have just 30 days to dispose of the personal information.
Erase of existence.
What?
Bosses are being told to destroy COVID vaccination data collected about their staff. WorkSafe says regulations have expired today and employers have just 30 days to dispose of the personal information.
Erase of existence.
Bosses are being told to destroy COVID.
How are they told to destroy?
Bosses are being told to destroy COVID vaccination data collected about their staff. WorkSafe says regulations.
That's really weird.
If you can get up and go to the gym, you have a certain type of discipline that you're beating me at. And if you can get up and go to the gym and do that, like, you can't cheat a good body, like good physique. You can't cheat that shit. Like, you gotta go and work on that shit. So for somebody that has that, it lets me know that at least mentally, you might not know anything else, whatever, but you mentally disciplined enough to go show up and do the work. And it's gonna get you somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you can get.
Congratulations. 烦恼进入了我的耳朵里，I like them niggas.
What the fuck?
That's the most.
Having someone that's a close.
All right. I need to be putting that shit down, I swear. It's early in the morning to get that fucking dopamine hit from watching all this dumbass shit on there. Now it's time to listen to something educational. Here's proof Egyptians never built anything. What do you think about this?
Graham Hancock, a big gap that exists in Egyptian history has finally been filled. Now scientists know what.
Detector results are in, and Tom Brady does actually remember words.
I told you.
You gotta take the bait out your voice. I will tackle you. We'll be right back.
Here's how I made myself control my world using Adobe Premiere Pro. First thing I did was film 2 plates. One of myself doing the actions and one of the man acting as if he was reacting to that. I added stock footage of rain on top and set that to screen mode. I then added an adjustment layer over top of everything and added the Lumetri color effect and adjusted it to look like a moody rainy day. I then used animated mask to mask on those effects in and out. For the monster, I just once again used Ultra Key to key out the sky so it could be placed behind the trees, and boom, I was done.
Existed and how pyramids really were built. According to
Yo, what's up, bro? Guys. Trying to get some of these live streams started for this Sunday morning. Well, I've been on YouTube for a minute, actually, but I got stuck on watching Instagram reels. So I just been kind of sitting here smoking and thinking, getting ready to proceed on this painting. We're making some good progress here this weekend. Really been trying to detail the bench, which is just like a lot of chipping paint. And it's a brown bench, but just how the sun is hitting it, it has like this weird kind of grayish white to it. I don't know. So I just tried to work it the best I could. I think it is coming along pretty nicely though. So this is where we're at. We're going to, for the most part, this side of the bench is done. So there's a cell phone layer in there. We have to get that. And we're going to move here and proceed to fill in these 2 bottom slats of the bench here. And then right underneath the bench, you can still see some of the grass and ground, and so we'll try to fill in the grass and ground underneath, and then the entire background will be done. Everything is done in the back. Already worked on his skin tones a little bit, and then we can start detailing his clothing, and then after that we'll detail the books, the cell phone, and we should be done. I'm really contemplating on how I'm gonna do this book because it's so close that you can literally read all of the writing on the back of the book, so it may take me a while to get all that filled in. But other than that, it is looking pretty damn nice right now. Really been enjoying this piece. So my next painting is going to be about aliens and shit. Oh, matter of fact, I need to share a video I seen from a congressional hearing on the proceedings of the UAP meetings that are happening in Congress right now. So they had a meeting a couple of days ago saying that next week, well, they had a press release a couple of days ago saying that next week they're going to have another official meeting about the UAP phenomenon. Last year they had one where the Pentagon came out and spoke to Congress, and they started an initiative called Arrow. They said they made it a more streamlined system for quote unquote whistleblowers who want to tell stories, even if it goes against some NDAs that they've signed. Excuse me. So, what do you guys think about aliens? What is it? What are UFOs? Unidentified flying objects. or now they're calling them unidentified aerial phenomenon or some stuff. But what are your takes on that? What do you think? If someone says, "Oh, I saw some lights in the sky," and they got a little grainy video, and you can see like something fly and it whizzes and it moves around, like, what's your first thought on what those things are? Because my first thought is, I don't know. I don't know what that shit be, man. It's just weird that I just find it weird that if a civilization is technologically advanced enough to traverse star systems, that they wouldn't fear their presence being absolutely known. That's the one thing I think about. Is like, oh, I saw a UFO. Oh, I saw this. I saw that. Like, why don't they just come down and just, like, address the issue of their presence? That's the only part I don't get. That you would really be able to leave one star system and travel to another star system just to come here and be all aloof and secretive and mysterious and whatnot. Man, it would only take very little time to realize if your technology was more superiorly advanced than whoever's. So I don't know. If I ain't had to worry about somebody's technology, man, that's just like, once again, it's fucking a construction worker to a pile of ants. I'm trying to build a road, and I have fucking jackhammers, backhoes, and steamrollers. And I'm going to use all my technology to build this road. And it's not that I hate this anthill or that, I just absolutely wish their demise. It's just that they're in the fucking way. They're in the way. And if I need to brush them out the way, there's nothing they can do about it. And so any type of advanced civilization which had capabilities far beyond our own would see us in a similar light. And so why would you be so evasive and so clandestine? I would just come and be like, look, Earth, whatever y'all call this place, bitch recognizes my shit now. You know what I'm saying? Just like, or something like, I don't know. I got the mothership, we only 8 miles above the atmosphere right now. If you make a move, I nuke this whole bitch. Like the movie, The Day That Earth Stood Still. So that's the only reason I really don't think it's like extraterrestrials from some distant galaxy or some star system that's light years away, Andromeda or Sirius or some shit. Like, I don't know. What I do think, though, is that there may be an ancient civilization that has been hidden from us for a long time, and they don't really want their presence to be known, and they not absolutely known until they are secure that their way of life isn't going to be damaged somehow. I don't know. But times are getting crazy, and they're going to start disclosing a lot of stuff soon. Or at least I believe they will. I believe they're going to start disclosing some stuff. Alright, so now what we want to do is I'm going to pull out the knife. Well, let's see. I might pull out the brush first. So we just want to get this section right here filled in, and as soon as we can do that, we'll clean the palette. Well, might not have to clean the palette, but I'm definitely going to have to add some greens or something to the palette, and then we'll do this, and then I'll clean the palette. But we're moving along pretty good. We're moving at a good clip today. You know, this bench is actually, I'm really liking the bench. I can't help it. I'm really liking it. Especially how these shadows are coming out here. I may have to soften those out a little bit more, but I love that transition into the shadow. So, all right, and also, oh, nobody's watching, but we're on YouTube Live. So if you do want to stick around for a while, check out some of the process. Whenever I end the Instagram Live, you can definitely hop over to YouTube, because more than likely, I think I did 5 hours in here yesterday. I probably do about the same amount of time today. Probably try to put about 5 or 6 hours into this painting today. I really want to move this along a little bit this weekend. And I have an art event to go to tonight. So if you see me live later this evening, definitely check that out. So I should be showcasing some of my homies' artwork and letting people check their stuff out. So what I want to do is I will stay on Instagram Live for another few minutes. But I'm going to set you guys up on this pod right here. Is it going to stay right there? Alright. If I can get you guys here. Acrylic or oil? Always oils, bro. Always oils. I have acrylics, but I use these to like tone the canvas mostly. But here, oil brushes, some thinner, some linseed oil is what I keep in here. So if you ever see me dip my brush in this little cuppy thing, it has linseed oil in it. And then this is baby oil is in here to help clean the brushes more. And my palette's getting kind of grimy. I definitely need to clean that off today. So I use a mixture of Winton by Winsor & Newton. Yeah, Winsor & Newton is a really, really good paint. They're Winton colors. No, some dryers are actually yellow some colors. I've tried it before. and I'll use this sometimes on like thicker paint. But hold on, that's not it. There is an accelerant that I use, but that's only like for really thick. If I'm doing like thick foliage or something like that with dark colors. But sometimes a dryer will actually yellow and tarnish over time. So I just try to avoid it. What I do is well, my pieces are so large that by the time I get to one side of it, the other side is normally dry anyway. And I just try to keep a couple paintings going at one time. So if a piece is too wet to continue to work on, instead of adding dryers or something, just work on a different piece. Move to a different canvas and come back to it later. Oh, bro, look, bro. Once you touch them oils and you get the feel for it, it's almost no going back, man. It's almost no going back. And this is what I'll show you. Some colors just well, they don't dry. Oils don't have water in it, so they harden instead of dry. So I mixed this yesterday. This is Prussian blue and lamp black, and I use that for my black. Now this still may be wet to the touch. Yeah, that's still wet to the touch. I put this Naples yellow on there yesterday. Alright, that's still wet to the touch. Yellow ochre. Bro, that's yesterday. This is oil paint. And it already has a dry skin on it. People think oils take a long time to dry. They don't. They really don't. I put that on there yesterday and I can touch it. And it's already starting to get a dry skin on it. Put this on yesterday. This is Indian red. Alright, that's still wet to the touch. But if you let these things sit, tomorrow I guarantee you all these will have a skin on the top. Even this have a skin. And it'll already start hardening. People, I don't know, sometimes, I don't know, the conception about the dry time for oils, I get it. It is definitely a legitimate thing. Because, I mean, acrylics dry in 15-20 minutes. But oils, they don't take like weeks to dry like people think. Like, oh, you gotta wait days. Like, yeah, a day, maybe. After a day, like, your oils are already starting to harden. Yeah, that's the only thing is like, if you want to really produce a piece of art in a short time frame, using acrylics are always going to be the better option because you can finish a project way faster. But for my big tubes and like my foundation layer, so my underpainting, all of this is I use the Winsor and Newton colors for that, and they're a lot cheaper, so that's why I buy these in the big tubes because they're fairly inexpensive, but at the same time they're really good paints. They're really good paints and they don't cost a lot. So you can buy big tubes of these. I use a lot of white, so I do have like, and even Gamblin's big tubes are not as big as the Winsor and Newton tubes. But for my detail work and my more colorful areas of the painting, I normally use Gamblin colors. But Gamblin is a little more pricier, so I'm not gonna always buy big tubes of Gamblin. But their colors are really good. The quality of the paint is excellent. The consistency and the texture of the paint is what I really like about it the most. It just flows really nice. So yeah, so Gatlin and Winsor & Newton are the paints I use the most. I'll use some of this right here, Grumenbach, and then there's some Old Holland. There's another Grumenbacher. These are really good colors. And I have like a few Old Holland, but like Grumenbach, Old Holland, Rembrandt, like some of them shits are even more expensive than gambling. So I don't know, man. It's out of my budget. You know, I'm not trying to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a damn tube of paint. And then people are like, why are your prices so much? Man, that shit not cheap. Nothing I use is cheap. My brush is not cheap. My paints, my gambling paints, definitely not cheap. My canvas is definitely not cheap. Nothing I use. You gotta think about all the stuff the materials themselves, they go into the painting. And then the time and everything. But I don't know. I'm just enjoying the process. Just enjoying the process. So nobody never answered the question about what do they think these UFOs are, because we're gonna get some kind of disclosure from our government in the upcoming years. Maybe next summer, the summer after that, we're definitely gonna get some kind of disclosure about what the government knows about these UFOs or UAPs, and have they actually recovered or retrieved any of these crafts? Are they reverse engineering these things for our own military purposes? Like, there's a lot that's gonna be coming out soon. And I don't know, some people think it's gonna disrupt everything, some people don't think it's gonna disrupt anything. I don't know. Most people believe in aliens anyway, so I don't see how you could actually disrupt anything. I think there is alien life. Well, like I say, most people, that's the thing, most people do. And so the government's like, well, if we expose all the documents and tell everybody the truth, there will be panic and outrage and hysteria. Like, how, bro? Like, most people already believe that shit anyway. If the president gets on the news and says, well, aliens are real, most people are like, yeah, all right, I kind of knew that. I kind of figured that already. There's not going to be like some mass hysteria or something. I don't know. They don't want it to be like War of the Worlds back in the day when they read that shit on the radio and people started going out in the streets acting all mad and stuff. But alien life, do I think there's alien life, or do I think there's some different type of life form on this planet? Do I think it's us from the future, some type of time travelers, or is there a different dimension where these beings can vibrate and resonate on a different frequency and step into our reality, into our realm, or our plane of existence? I don't know. There's too many different hypotheses about what these things can be, who these beings are, their level of technology and knowledge and understanding, the level to which we interact with these things on a fucking military or social political basis. I don't know. But I do know one thing. It's a lot of weird shit. It's a lot of weird stuff. And we not been told the truth. You know? I don't think these people been telling us the truth about nothing. Alright, I'm gonna add some Van Dyke Brown to the canvas. To the palette. And I'm gonna pull out this knife. And so I'm gonna need, probably gonna need some white real quick too. I wanna listen to this clip right here real quick with you guys. It says it's Graham Hancock. People don't know. You have to see this. Our history is not what we're told. Is this a commission piece? No, it's just passion of art, bro. Just the passion of painting. So I'm wrapping up my reader series. I've been working on the reader series for about 9 years. I guess it was my blue period. I guess also because I thought it was a really cool idea, and a lot of people do resonate with this series of black people reading books written by black people. One of the old sayings that I always hated because I love to read ever since a kid, is that if you want to hide something from a nigga, put it in a book. And then when you realize there are vast swaths of African studies written by highly intelligent black people. And so about 12 years ago, 13 years ago, I really started reading nonfiction, because I just grew up on science fiction and shit like that. And so once I don't know why I did it. No, I actually do know why. I watched this documentary once, and it made me realize I didn't know a lot about African history and black history. And after I watched this documentary, I read the autobiography of Malcolm X, and then it was just on and popping from there. And then I was like, well, I gotta put some of this shit in my art. And so I just started painting pictures of people reading books, like the books that I read, and that I realized that a lot of other people haven't read. And it's like, okay, well, we need to start educating ourselves, because these books are just right here, just laying all out in the open for us to acquire and kind of digest this knowledge that all of these brilliant black scholars have taken years and years of educating themselves and doing the research and gathering the documents and all the information and writing this literature out for us to help us better ourselves. And I just realized how many people don't read and don't know that there's kind of like roadmaps that we've had for a long time, and we're going to keep bumping our heads doing the same thing if we don't educate ourselves, because they're not going to do it for us. We're not forced to read any of this material in school, especially if you go to public school, but we're forced to read their history. So we know everything about their history and nothing about our history. We don't even know the people who have done the research to deliver us the information on our history. And so the reader series was an attempt to kind of bridge art and education and help people, just lead the horse to water is basically what I tried to do. Just lead the horse to water. And actually over the past years, I've seen a lot of other artists kind of emulate and copy my style. Oh, I wish I could. Well, you know what? I might be able to do it right here. I'm gonna show you. So this is what I live for. But also, like I said, I feel like I've really have had a decent enough impact with the reader series that I can just go ahead and wrap it up now. So I'm gonna add these last two pieces to it, and I think that'll be it for a while. Oh man, was it not there? Hold on. Why? No, anyway, this one young guy sent me a message the other day, I thought it was on Facebook, but it might have been on Instagram. But he sent me a message and saying that he came across some paintings from the Reader series, and he was like, yo, this is some of the dopest stuff I've ever seen. And he was like, he's an artist and he's 26 years old, and he just, loved the concept, and he's thinking about like grabbing some of the books to read. And I'm like, that is what I do it for, bro. That's the ultimate goal right there, is to just spark that little moment of inquisitiveness in someone. Oh, I'm mad I can't find that message now. It had to be on my... I don't know. Yeah, 9 years, man. So there's, I think I have 17 paintings. I have 17 paintings in the Reader series. After I finish these two, it'll be 17. I think I've done 15 paintings for the Reader series over the past about 9 years. And so, like I said, I've been at it for a while. I think it's had a decent impact, and I'll let it rest for a while. Not saying that I won't ever come back to the Reader series again, because I love to read, and once again, I read a lot of shit that I realize that other people haven't read. So I'm always, that's why it lasted for so long, because I constantly read, and every time I read something, it's like, oh, you haven't heard of this book? Okay, let me put that in the Reader series. Oh, you haven't heard of this book? All right, well, look, then it's just like, oh, man. Because in the beginning, I only intended on doing a 3-part series, because most of my series are just trilogies. I'll try to, fine-tune the concept and then do 3 pieces with that concept. But then once I started the Reader series and I did the first 3 paintings, I'm like, all right, that's done. And then I was reading one book and trying to have a discussion about it, and somebody never read it, and I'm like, all right, well, I got to put this in the Reader series. And so it grew to 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now it's like, I said, there's probably like 17 paintings in the series. And I've sold a few of them. I sold 2 of them. One of them to a private collector. Recently, one of the local universities purchased one for their permanent collection to keep. It's actually in their library, which is dope, since the Reader series is all about people reading books. And so to have a painting of somebody reading a book in the university's library, I think that's fucking badass. But show coming up for the Reader series. No, it's I don't know. I may incorporate some of it in December, like these last 2 pieces, because they'll be new. I do have a December show. But I don't know. Last year I did my first solo museum exhibit, and it was the Reader series. And then after the museum exhibit, it moved over to one of the local universities. And so the Reader series has been out, and it's been there for a while. I actually took 2 pieces to California, and one piece is actually still in rotation in Tennessee and other places. So I had a show in Tennessee in September of last year, and then that show moved from the University of East Tennessee University. Then it moved to the Kansas City Museum of African Art. Then it moved to the Kansas University, and then it moved to somewhere else in Tennessee. And and I thought I was gonna get it back after that, and then last week or about 2 weeks ago, I got a text message saying that, hey, somebody else wants this show, and so you don't mind if we keep that piece, right? I'm like, just hold on to it as long as y'all want, man. So I got one piece from the Reader series that's actually been traveling for almost a year right now, which is pretty cool. So a lot of people are seeing, and that's why I say the impact of the Reader series is I think it's done its thing. And I'll always continue to show these pieces because they are my favorite. Yo, my man Dan. They are my favorite pieces. Well, not my favorite pieces, but my favorite series altogether. But I'm gonna move on to something else after this year. It's like I love this series so much. I hate to let it go. But I think it's time. It's really time to move on. Like I said, it's had a very, very, very good impact, though. Very good impact. This series has been so well received, and I honestly think that it's helped me to be taken seriously as an artist. You know, people have seen the Reader series, and it makes them think. You know, it really makes them think. It makes them question. It makes them wonder. It makes them go do their own research. And it makes people. The concept is a serious concept, and so I think it has helped me to be taken seriously as an artist, because it is such a cool concept, and it is a really good set of paintings. And so I'm happy with it. I'm satisfied with it. I want to paint other stuff, and over the past 9 years, I have produced several other series through and out. This isn't like the only thing that I've worked on over the past 9 years, but it was my main thing for the past 9 years. Like, it was the main thing was this series, and so. Once again, I feel okay letting it go for a while. You know, even if I don't come back to it for 9 years, it'll be all right. It's still there. You know, it's there, and the pieces that I have produced, like I say, just like the one that's still on tour now, they can travel, and hopefully one day I actually want the bulk of the series to be picked up by somebody, a museum, a university, some well-established institution that can just protect this thing for me and keep it safe when I'm not here. Because I think the message is really good, the impact is really good, and yeah. But at the same time, I think I do need to move on. It's so sad. This is like one of my best ideas, I think, personally. Me personally. I think the Reader series, because it's so simple. It's just so simple. But it just means so much, yo, at the same time. And I don't think I've yet been able to capture that type of deep, complex simplicity in any other series that I've done before. You know, and that's why I've stuck with it so long. It's one of my better ideas, and it's so obvious. It's just in your face. Kind of comical in a way, but tragic in a way at the same time. And I think, you know, in the future, when I do come back to this, someone did give me, well, not give me an idea, because it's always been there, and I've actually tried it several times, and it just keeps falling through. But to incorporate more kids into the Reader series, And someone just asked one time, why aren't there kids in the Reader series? I said, I've thought about it. And I've actually looked for kid models. But at the same time, children all already have this fascination about the world and this thirst to learn. Well, when I was younger, kids had that. But for some reason, adults kind of lose that. And when you read statistics on how many people actually read books after they leave school, like most adults don't read if they don't have to. You know, and so in a way we don't educate ourselves if we don't have to. And so with the Reader series, I really did focus on adults, because I want everybody to know, like, you know, it doesn't hurt to learn. It doesn't hurt to learn something new, even if you have to teach it to yourself. Even if you have to just pick up a book and read it and try to understand it for yourself. It's okay. You know? It's okay to keep learning after school. You don't have to stop your education because you graduated high school or graduated college. There's still tons of shit out there we don't know. Alright, I want that to be a little chunkier actually, so on top of that brush, I think I'm gonna lay a little bit of knife work down real quick with these lighter colors. And get that wood a little texture to it. Like that. Maybe something like that, I'm not sure. Might be right. It might be alright. Just a little bit though. Not too much. But noticeable. Barely noticeable, but noticeable. Just like when you get some fucking fresh Air Force Ones. And like not even on the top of the leather, just on the side of the sole. You know how you hop in the car and it been raining and muddy out. Everything dry now. You know what I'm saying? Everything dried up. You hop in the car, but they just that one little piece of dried up mud. It's like on the edge of the car frame, and you hop in, and your fresh, crispy Nikes just bump that shit a little bit. And now you just got that one little smudge, like on the bottom outside of the sole, and it's just like, damn. That shit barely noticeable, but you notice it though. That shit barely noticeable, but it's just like, man, shit. That's what you want right here. Barely noticeable, but you'll see it though. You're gonna see it. Alright, now I need dark. I need a dark line. Ah, damn it. Let me just do this first. Art over everything. I know that's right. I ain't Bob Ross, man. I don't make happy little mistakes. Either you fuck up or you get it right over here. You know what I'm saying? Ain't only two ways to do it. You fuck it up or you get it right. You know what I'm saying? And if you fuck it up, then you let that shit dry and you try it again until you get it right. Let's check that down. I tell all my students, I don't like that. That don't look good. Well, what's wrong with it? It don't, I just told you, it don't look good. Let's try this over from scratch. My teacher used to tell me that all the time. Yo, my art teacher or my mentor, I don't look good, Travis. And I'll just be like, fuck you, bro. Yo, he used to tell me, I don't make my colors dark enough, and I blend too much. That was his biggest two gripes with me, yo. Biggest two gripes. Yo, why you blending so hard? Cause I like it like that. He's like, yo, that shit don't look good, man. He's like, yo, don't look good like that. You blending too much, man. I'm like, alright, bro. I'm still a heavy blender though, I ain't gonna lie. I still like that. And then after a while, that's what he told me. He was like, I guess that's your style then. I looked at him. I said, damn right, that's my style. He said, my colors don't be dark enough. And so I don't get a good enough contrast. And then he said, I blend too much. You had to pay attention to him though. Because after a while, I realized that I wasn't making my colors dark enough. And then I realized I was blending too much. And once I realized I said, this motherfucker's been trying to tell me this shit the whole time. Now I can see what the hell he was talking about. It took a while, but at the same time, I can still utilize both of it. Both aspects of what he was showing me and the way I want to do that shit. And then that is your own style. That's what I tell all my students. Man, do what I do the way you want to do it. I'm going to show you how I do it, right? And then you take that and you do it the way you want to do it, man. I just got the guidelines. And that's it now. I'm going to show you a way that works. It's proven. You can see the work that I produce. It's proven to work. It's proven to produce results. Now I'm going to show you this way. The proven way. And then you take that shit and then you make your own way. It's proven to work for you. And that's how we all build good artists. But my art teacher had to prove to me, like, if you make it darker, it'll look better. And after a while, I understood exactly what he meant. Contrast, light and shadow. Everything is a play of light and shadow. You need contrast, deep contrast in some instances, to make it look believable. You got to try to fool the mind. This is a flat 2D surface, and you trying to tell somebody to look at this shit like it's 3D. Well, how you do that? You gotta trick they fucking optics. You gotta trick their eyes and then trick their mind. In order to do that, you gotta understand how we perceive light and the effects that light has on the eyes. And once you understand light and contrast, dark, light, shadows, you can make some shit that's flat than a motherfucker. That shit just as flat as the earth. Hint, hint. It's like, no. You can make something flat as hell look like it's actually sticking out somehow. And I find that amazing. I feel like a goddamn magician. Because I be looking at my shit sometimes and I be like, you know what? That shit do kind of look 3D a little bit. My art teacher was right. This motherfucker taught me the right way. Because there is a right way and a wrong way. You can do it the Norman Rockwell right way, or you can do it the motherfucking Kehinde Wiley the right way. But they different right ways to do this shit. And they are definitely wrong ways to do it. I think I might have to go get me something to eat in a minute. Should I have some damn, I don't know, man. What's for breakfast? Some French toast? I don't know if I should do some French toast or what. Alright, back to the knife. So now we got a little shadow under that book, which is technically the bench part. I want to pull this down and make that deeper, with some brown real quick, as if it is more chipping paint. Just have some of this paint chipping off of here. Right there. And then we're gonna put a lot of it here. Yeah, when I do this texture technique right here, I use a lot of paint. That's why I gotta get the Winsor & Newton in the big tubes. I'll be running through some of this paint sometimes. Once again, back to the pricing. Why it cost so much? Bitch, they damn near a whole tube of paint on that thing. You didn't even know. I just use a whole tube of brown paint. Then maybe I want this. Wait a minute. I don't like how I had that blob of paint on the knife was looking like it was gonna give me some challenges just now. I had to straighten it up. Alright, you think we got aliens now? Some fruit. I might have to do that, bro. I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm hungry as shit right now. I might see what kind of fruits I got. Do some yogurt and granola, some fruit. Yeah, I'm gonna need more paint on the palette than I thought, because that little dollop I put on there, I'm about to run through this already, trying to cover this, fill this little piece in. So I'm gonna try to block this brown in, and then I'm still gonna come back on top of this brown with some grays, a little bit of gray. Yeah, dang, that was all the brown? Dang. What size is this? 1/1824. What is the price range? I don't know, man. Nah, this is a 24 by 36, I think. Let's see. I ain't even gonna lie to you. That is, yeah, that's 36. Oh, this might be. Oh no, this is 48. Yeah, this 36 by 48 inch canvas. I know it'd be looking. They be looking small when you be up on camera. But yeah, this is not a little canvas. 36 by 48, so it's 3 feet by 4 feet is what that is. Once again, just for the simple fact that I'm using a knife which uses a lot of paint, I used a knife to texture the trees back here, and also the fact that it took me countless hours to put all these bricks in there. So this one is, the background is a little more detailed than some other stuff. So the building, the foliage, the bench, and I haven't even started the book yet. Once I detail that book, man, I might have to put this one at like 10 grand or something. I don't know. It ain't gonna be cheap. I can tell you that now. But, yeah, I might ask for like, I want $10,000 for that shit. I ain't even trying to lie. I need about 10 stacks. the studio. I do need to eat real quick.
Randall Carlson and Graham Hancock, a big gap that exists in Egyptian history has finally been filled. Now scientists know what happened in this period, what technologies existed, and how pyramids really were built. According to Graham Hancock, this gap was before the Egyptians ever existed, and we finally can talk about what specific technologies these people had that allowed them to build pyramids. As we will show you, things that these people were able to do by manipulating laws of physics are
Yo, not gonna lie, bro. One time I got the best compliment, bro. But just for you even saying that, man, because he is definitely one of my favorite artists. When he did the Obama painting, yo, somebody. You can't hear me. Yo, mic check. Is that better? I don't know if it was because I had it sitting on the drone or what. Or I may have a bad connection up here too. But yeah, when he did the Obama painting, somebody hit me up on Facebook. They was like, yo, did you paint that picture of Obama? I was like, no, but I'm happy you thought I did. Okay, but yeah, yo, somebody thought I did that Obama paint, and I'm like, that's what's up, yo. If you thought I did that shit, like, that's what's up. But for this series, like how he does his floral backgrounds, I did like these more simplistic stencils, but that's definitely like me trying to emulate Kehinde style a little bit. So, I mean, he's definitely has had a major influence on my art. I went from doing shit like that, you know, to doing shit like this. So, definitely a major influence. I'm always like, I can't even explain it. Anytime anybody compares me to Kehinde, I'm like, yes, I'm getting there.
boggling. You have to see this. Our history is not what we are told. And today, in the 21st century, it is impossible for us to use the same incredible technologies because we simply don't have this knowledge anymore. Also, according to Randall Carlson, some researchers have spent many years working in secret and have now rediscovered ancient lost technologies. These researchers have shared their findings to prevent suppression. These technologies may be unfamiliar to us because they involve using vibrations to control matter. So, these researchers formed a multidisciplinary team comprising of experts in various fields, such as archaeology, physics, engineering, and anthropology. Their shared goal was to decipher the enigmatic mechanisms behind these ancient technologies and unravel their practical applications. With renewed enthusiasm, the researchers scoured ancient texts, studied artifacts, and examined historical accounts from diverse civilizations. They analyzed the patterns, symbols, and writings left behind, searching for clues that could shed light on the long-lost knowledge of manipulating matter through vibration frequencies. Through countless hours of meticulous study and experimentation, the researchers began to piece together a clearer understanding of these technologies. They hypothesized that ancient civilizations possessed a profound understanding of vibrational energy and its potential to mold and shape matter. One breakthrough came when the researchers discovered a long-forgotten manuscript in the pyramid. This manuscript, filled with intricate diagrams and detailed instructions, revealed the existence of a device called the Harmonic Resonance Modulator, HRM. It described how the HRM harnessed specific frequencies to harness energy and manipulate materials with astonishing precision. Eager to put their findings to the test, the researchers sought permission from various archaeological sites to conduct non-invasive investigations. Armed with modern tools and their newly acquired knowledge, they meticulously analysed the ancient structures, looking for traces of vibrational manipulation. Their efforts bore fruit when they uncovered compelling evidence of resonance-based modifications on stones within pyramids and other ancient buildings. The tool marks discovered by the archaeologists now made sense, aligning with the researchers' theories about advanced machinery being used in construction. Furthermore, Graham.
So that's my thing too, is just like, yes, sir. These motherfuckers, Graham Hancock and Randall Carson, also this other dude named Robert Bivol, and this other guy named David Forrester. They all got me thinking that the people we think are the ancient Egyptians, them people never built those pyramids, yo. Dr. Robert Schoch, he's a geologist, and in 1996 he put out a thesis paper redating the age of the Sphinx, and that shit caused all kind of uproar. Because he said the Sphinx was older than what people thought it was. But he dated it so old that he dated the Sphinx so old that it predated the dynastic Egyptians. And so people were like, well, if the Egyptians didn't build it, then who did? It can't be that old. And he's like, yeah, it is that old, and I don't know who the fuck built it. But it's way older than we think it is. And so ever since then, like, all the Egyptologists been trying to keep these dudes from out of there. But once again, like, back to this whole alien UFO thing. What if the true builders, what if the true pyramid builders just left and went somewhere? I don't know, they went into the hollow earth, or they went past the ice wall in Antarctica, or they built some underwater city somewhere. I don't know where they went. But that's another hypothesis, is that whatever civilization that was Atlantis, or the Palladians, or whoever these original pyramid builders were, maybe they were able to hold on to some part of their culture and civilization. And they're just tucked away in a part of the planet where we just don't know where they're at. And every once in a while they send like their little scouts out to fuck with people and shit.
Hancock has presented a compelling argument suggesting that there were a lot of different kinds of these lost technologies that made it possible to lift giant stones, manipulate physics, and do a lot of magical process that are impossible to do today, and these technologies have since been lost to history. Lost ancient knowledge is a captivating concept that suggests civilizations of the past possessed advanced technologies and wisdom that surpassed our current understanding. Graham Hancock, among other researchers and theorists, argues that there is substantial evidence pointing towards the existence of a lost technological and intellectual heritage. By exploring various archaeological anomalies and enigmatic artifacts, he contends that our conventional understanding of history overlooks a significant chapter of human achievement. These ancient technologies, once harnessed by this enigmatic civilization before ancient Egyptians, were capable of extraordinary feats. They possessed the ability to manipulate the fundamental forces of nature, defy gravity, and unlock the secrets of the universe. The people of this lost civilization were masters of a form of magic that relied on their deep understanding of the natural world and the hidden energies that flowed through it. In this period, towering cities rise into the sky, constructed from massive stones that defy our modern understanding of engineering. These cities are adorned with intricate carvings and symbols depicting a profound knowledge of the cosmos and celestial events. They served as hubs of knowledge and enlightenment, where scholars and mystics delved into the mysteries of existence. The people of this ancient civilization possessed an innate connection to the natural world, able to communicate with animals and harness the powers of the elements. They developed a profound understanding of herbalism and alchemy, crafting potions and elixirs that could
5 AI-driven scaling tools for our business, and this is what happened. $4 million a month cash collected in a little under 9 months. Hard to believe.
Ailments, enhance physical abilities, and even grant limited forms of immortality. There is a big possibility that, throughout the world, remnants of these technologies lay dormant and might be discovered at some point by adventurers and explorers. These artifacts possess incredible power, capable of reshaping the world or unlocking new realms of knowledge. With that, lost ancient knowledge may extend to fields such as metallurgy, mathematics, hydrology, and medicine. Ancient artifacts, such as the Antikythera mechanism, an ancient Greek device used for astronomical calculations, and the Baghdad battery, a collection of artifacts believed to have been used for electroplating, indicate a level of scientific understanding beyond what is traditionally attributed to ancient societies. These artifacts suggest that ancient civilizations had knowledge of complex machinery, electricity, and metalworking, challenging the notion of linear technological progress. Randall Carlson also suggests that these monumental structures, dating back thousands of years, were not the products of simple manpower and primitive tools, as traditionally thought. Instead, he proposes that they were the result of ancient advanced technologies that are, unfortunately, lost to time. According to Carlson, the rise in sea levels is happening much faster than we have seen in the past century. There are periods of very rapid sea level rise, which can cause significant destruction in the intertidal zone. Anything except large megalithic blocks will be completely destroyed by this process. The severity of these events is often overlooked by archaeologists and prehistorians when they try to find evidence of ancient civilizations. They wonder why there are no artifacts, pottery, or signs of past civilizations. There are 2 reasons for this. Firstly, they fail to realize the extensive changes that have occurred on the Earth's surface. It's like dropping multiple atomic bombs on a city and expecting everything to be left after thousands of years. It all turns into rubble and becomes part of the geological layers, making it difficult to differentiate from natural rocks. Secondly, if we only look for things that resemble our own technologies, we may miss evidence of ancient technologies that are different from what we know. There may be suppressed or buried research suggesting that our ancestors had advanced technologies. Exploring this topic could be a whole separate discussion. It is now evident that the ancient Egyptians possessed knowledge far beyond what was previously understood. Their understanding of physics, engineering, and cosmic forces surpassed anything recorded in history. And so, the implications of recent discoveries is monumental. If this long-lost technology could be fully resurrected, it has the potential to revolutionize the world, that's for sure. But still, scientists have various controversial opinions on this topic. If you ask scientists in Egypt, they are very sensitive with this topic, as they claim all the available evidence strongly suggests that it was indeed the ancient Egyptians who constructed the pyramids. However, there is still a great deal of mystery surrounding the living conditions, compensation, and treatment of these pyramid builders. Researchers are actively investigating these aspects to uncover more information. Egypt is home to over 100 ancient pyramids, and among them, the most renowned ones are the first step pyramid constructed during the rule of Pharaoh Djoser around 2630 to 2611 BC, and the first true pyramid. According to Mark Lerner's book, The Complete Pyramids, Solving the Ancient Mysteries, the first true pyramid with smooth sides was built under the rule of Pharaoh Snefru around 2575 to 2551 BC. Additionally, the Great Pyramid was constructed at Giza during the reign of Pharaoh Khufu, who ruled from about 2551 to 2528 BC. Pharaohs Khafre and Menkaure, who succeeded Khufu, also had pyramids built at Giza. According to Mark Lerner's book, during the New Kingdom period, from 1550 to 1070 BC, pharaohs started to shift away from constructing pyramids. Instead, they preferred to be buried in the Valley of the Kings, which is situated approximately 300 miles, 483 kilometers south of Giza. Lerner also mentions that in recent years, archaeologists have discovered fresh evidence that offers insights into the identity of the pyramid builders and their way of life. Historical documents that have been preserved, such as the papyri found in 2013 at Wadi al-Jaf on Egypt's Red Sea coast, provides evidence that there were large groups of workers involved in supplying materials for the construction of the Giza pyramids. These groups, sometimes referred to as gangs, played a crucial role in transporting materials.
Nothing more powerful than you, making your thing happen, doing business on your terms, making a difference, and loving what you do every single day. When there's nothing holding you back, what would your thing be?
Discovered at Wadi al-Jaf specifically mention a group of 200 men overseen by an inspector named Mira. They used boats to transport limestone along the Nile River, covering a distance of about 18 kilometers from Tura to the Great Pyramid. The transported limestone was then used to construct the outer casing of the monument. In the past, Egyptologists have put forth a theory suggesting that the builders of the pyramids were primarily seasonal agricultural workers who had some free time when agricultural tasks were minimal. However, it is still uncertain whether this theory holds true. The papyri containing the information about the pyramids are currently being deciphered and studied, and the initial findings indicate that the group led by Mira was involved in more than just pyramid construction. These workers seem to have travelled across various regions of Egypt, potentially even reaching the Sinai Desert, undertaking different construction projects and assigned tasks. This raises the question of whether they constituted a more permanent and professional workforce, rather than being solely comprised of seasonal agricultural workers who would return to their fields. Based on the papyri, the workers were provided with a diet consisting of dates, vegetables, poultry and meat, as revealed by Pierre Talat, an Egyptology professor at Paris-Sorbonne University, who is currently deciphering the papyri and leading the team that discovered them. Along with the nutritious food, the papyri also mentioned that the work team received textiles on a regular basis, which were likely considered a form of currency during that period, as explained by Talat in an interview with Live Science. According to Mark Lerner, the director of Ancient Egypt Research Associates, AERA, officials holding important positions and participating in pyramid construction could have been given plots of land as a form of reward. Historical records indicate that in certain periods of Egypt's history, officials were granted land. However, it remains uncertain whether smaller land grants were bestowed upon officials involved specifically in pyramid construction. Lerner and his team have been excavating a town located in Giza, which was inhabited and visited by some of the workers engaged in constructing the Pyramid of Menkaure. So far, the archaeologists have uncovered evidence indicating that the people residing in this town used to bake a large quantity of bread, slaughter thousands of animals, and produce a considerable amount of beer. By analysing the animal bones discovered at the site and taking into account the dietary requirements of the workers, archaeologists estimate that approximately 1,800 kilograms of animals, including cattle, sheep, and goats, were slaughtered on a daily basis, on average, to sustain the workers with food. The burial sites of the workers close to the pyramids provides evidence that their bones had healed properly, indicating that they had access to medical treatment that was accessible during that era. The workers' nutritious diet, along with the presence of medical care and the provision of textiles as a form of payment, has led Egyptologists to generally concur that these workers were not enslaved individuals. However, it is important to note that not all workers were provided with the same level of accommodations. The excavations conducted by the AERA revealed that high-ranking officials resided in spacious houses and were served the best portions of meat. In contrast, Mark Lerner speculates that lower-ranking workers probably slept in modest dwellings or makeshift structures, such as lean-tos, located near the pyramids themselves. In addition, scientists in Egypt found a really old ramp system that was used to move heavy alabaster stones out of a quarry. Some people think this finding might give us hints about how the ancient Egyptians built the pyramids. However, although the ramp system is an important technological discovery, the idea that it directly relates to pyramid construction is not very likely. A team of archaeologists from the French Institute for Oriental Archaeology in Cairo and the University of Liverpool found the remains of the ramp system in an old alabaster quarry named Hatnab, which is located in the eastern desert. They believe that the ramp system is at least as old as the time when Pharaoh Khufu ruled, who was the one responsible for building the Great Pyramid at Giza. Yanis Gordon, one of the leaders of the excavation team at Hatnab, explained that the system they discovered consists of a main ramp in the middle, accompanied by 2 sets of stairs and several holes where wooden posts used to be. The ancient Egyptians would attach ropes from these posts to a sled carrying the stone blocks. With this setup, they could pull the heavy alabaster blocks up steep slopes that had an incline of 20% or even more. Kara Cooney, a professor of Egyptian art and architecture at the University of California, Los Angeles, who is not part of the research team, points out that it is hard to fully understand the importance of this discovery because the archaeologists have not yet published their findings and research on it. According to Cooney,
Damn. What the hell?
No way. Huh. I just joined, and the guy killing players with a jet.
Hey man, I like some
He's checking the map.
GTA
He's
stuff.
checking the map. He knows that I'm going after him. The question is if I'm gonna bait him to the city. Yeah. He's following me. That was easy. That was actually easy to bait him. Let's see, bro. buddy. Let's see how good are you with the jet when it comes to city dogfight. No way, right now, for real, no way. I've done this skill only twice for 7 years.
What? I didn't even really see what the hell he just did.
No way. Huh. I just joined, and the guy killing players with the jet. Oh, he's checking the map. He knows that I'm going after him. The question is if I'm gonna bait him to the city. Yeah, he's following me. That was easy. That was actually easy to bait him. Let's see, buddy. Let's see how good are you with the jet when it comes to city dogfight. No way, right now, for real, no way. I've done this skill only twice for 7 years.
So there we go. This is our restaurant, so it's our rules. If we don't like you, you're gone. Yeah, so we kicked them out essentially. It got to the point where no one wanted to serve them. The energy was so, and then we just said, yeah, you lot got to go. So they're out of here.
I'm the type of person that this hunter had an unexpectedly wholesome encounter. He went on his usual stroll through the forest as he noticed a deer standing about 20 feet away from him. He holds up his shotgun, seemingly ready to shoot it, but to his surprise, the deer doesn't move an inch. It just keeps staring at him, its eyes filled with curiosity. The man starts to become unsure of what to do, and to make matters even worse, instead of fleeing the scene, the deer starts to come closer to him. The hunter has never had anything like this happen before, and he's faced with a difficult decision. As he looks into its innocent eyes, he just can't bring himself to do it. The man ultimately decides to spare it, and even starts affectionately petting its head. Subscribe if you think he did the right thing. This hunter had an unexpectedly wholesome encounter. He went on his usual stroll through the forest.
Man, that would have little Bambi ass.
Feet away from him. He holds up his shotgun, seemingly ready to shoot.
Sorry, was your name Jennifer? No, it's Tinifer, with 2 Y's. I used to be Jennifer, but then I decided to rebrand myself. Oh wait, hang on. It's now next o'clock. Well, nice to meet you. My name's April, and I just wanted to say that your dress is so cute. It's bonks. I saw my spinning instructor wearing it, and I was like, shut up, where do I get that? Oh my god, who's your spinning instructor, Gregory or Winona? I go to Giannis. Who are Gregory and Winona? I've never heard of them before. Are they better? Winona rocks my world. Seriously, you need to get me in there. Like, that's a must. She's the worst person I've ever met. I want to travel the world with her. Sorry, was your name Jennifer? No, it's Tinnifer, with 2 Y's. I used to be Jennifer, but then I decided to rebrand myself. Oh wait, hang on. It's now next o'clock.
I love looking at people's driving sim setups, but I have not seen one like this. Last time we looked at a dashboard for, like, you know, race car, this guy's got a trucker setup with the full dash, the giant monitors.
How? Why
Even
would...
the side mirrors, how big they are. He's even got a passenger seat. What?
Why don't you just go get a fucking big rig then, bro? Like, why don't you go get a truck driving job?
Dashboard for, like, you know, race car. This guy's got a trucker
That's crazy. Why would you spend so much money on that?
Oh my god, I'm nervous. Okay, you're about to do a high dive. Let's go to sleep. You ready, Abby?
I'm ready.
What the heck?
To be a beast. Do you know what a beast is? A beast is someone who can walk.
My bad. I got YouTube set up right here, but it's easier for me to scroll on that shit. I'm not really here, I'm an illusion. I don't sink or swim, I just float. I don't need gravity, I just need growth. Oh, when I move, it's an earthquake rumble. And I don't need to be humble.
Destroy 3 enemy caches held by 150 enemy players. While the enemy team has a massive numbers advantage with limited respawns, our element will maintain the technological advantage and air superiority that can be expected in a real-world raid. We'll be running these hits with FQ9 Reapers, STAPs, and an 810 in the air stack, as we push deeper into enemy territory to eliminate these valuable caches. And now, let's jump into the plan. As we're going up against human players, maintaining the element of surprise is extremely important, and we intend to fully exploit that by deceiving the defenders with a false infill at Cache Alpha, codenamed POI-3. Our 2 MH-47s will pretend to land at this location, drawing the enemy to the southeast, which should hopefully leave the center objective, codenamed POI-1, less defended. POI-1 is a sizable town with multiple buildings for the enemy to garrison, strategically making it the most defensible location. As such, I've made the decision as a ground force commander to make POI-1 the first target. After completing the false infill, the MH-47s will make their way westbound to the actual HLZ south of POI-1. After dismounting the helos, the element will then move in formation northbound to the objective rally point, located just outside of the target town. At this location, final adjustments will be made as the element prepares to raid the cache. For the raid itself, our squads will be broken down into the following tasks. Kilo 1-1 is tasked with containment, taking down Building 121 and Building 12 to prevent any OPFOR from entering or leaving the target building. Kilo 1-4 is tasked with isolation, and will establish blocking points north and south of the town to prevent any QRF or adjacent OPFOR from influencing the objective. Kilo 1-2 is tasked with clearing and securing Building 11 to find and destroy the cache. And finally, Kilo 1-3 is tasked to follow and assume, ready to flex to any points of friction or mass calls. If all goes well, after hitting POI-1, the element will then regroup and organize to move northwestbound to raid POI-2. I hope you guys enjoyed this wild ride as things really ramp up near the end. And don't forget that you can join these events by heading over to Discord at discord.gg/KarmaCut. But that's enough for me. It's time for you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Is your H&D working? Oh, okay, yes, we're 1628.
Is that it?
Current status POI 001 at this time. Enemy infantry 1-4 times spams armed inside the compound. Bring no vehicles inside. Over.
Roger, how's HLC Seesaw looking?
Seesaw is ice for both Reaper and Sierra.
Roger. Net call. HLC Seesaw is ice. Slant for the target POI 001, 14 MAMS 00, over.
Hawk 1, Narco.
Hawk 1 back in the air. Climbing to you.
Hawk 1, Narco. Once you're on assigned altitude, echo point will be POI 001. Can you push Charlie 2?
I wonder how many of these guys are actual military.
Charlie 2. 30. Dead call. 1 minute. False. 1 minute. False.
HLC is just on the other side of these two roads we're passing over now.
Six from you.
Set.
Message from Sierra. Got a fire team in buildings 115 and 1106.
115, 1106.
Great work, Flight Narco. You're good for wheels up. Give me 18047. Okay. Great work, Flight 180. Look up.
One lifting. Over your 2, I'm passing left to you. Moving over. Clear. On heading, 182. 1618.
Set.
POI 003 on alert status. The shooting flares that are active at this time.
Roger. Net call. False infill was successful. POI 003 stirred up.
The left turn direct HCP anchors in pilot navigation to HLC Seesaw. Very low fly, get around HCP bank pilot navigation to HLC Seesaw.
It's out of the aircraft. It'll be in left turn out of the aircraft. Yeah, left
Net call. Left-hand turn out the aircraft. Left-hand turn out the aircraft.
Check that thing block. Okay, final flare for LZ. I got your ramp.
Let's go, ring one, go.
Quick, it's about to start. Grab a glass, take a seat, and showtime. Naomi, now that's life to the fullest. Quick, it's about to start. Grab a glass, take a seat, and showtime. Naomi, now that's life to the fullest.
Ramps up.
Six, 7, 14, 15, 16, 17,
As far as road movement.
7,
38, 39.
29.
Hold that position zone.
Leaders huddle center. We're just doing final checks here. There's no leaders recon. So as soon as I get the all good that we're good to go, from here, Kilo 1-1, you're gonna step off first, counted out by 1-9 myself, followed by 1-4. You two are pushing to the RP. You're gonna release, push your battle positions. Kilo 1-2 will be third out, followed by Kilo 1-3. Copy? Okay, as soon as I get that all good from all you guys, we're stepping.
Net call, all players to net slant count update activity, building 111, approximately 5 times MAMS. 112, approximately 5 times MAMS. Additional activity seen, 1202, 1203. With even 6, anybody check in to the release.
1-3 step.
6 from you.
So thick behind us. Yeah, roger. I see it.
Reaper tight. Possible technical spotting southwest on the road from DOI 001. Did you acquire?
Reaper tracking. Gonna be 1 times armed technical, no gunner.
All elements be advised, there's a technical to our rear left, circling on the left, might come up the road on the southwestern side of the objective, over.
6 from Bravo, there was no technical, however, it was well.
Sierra Aston, they're hot on targets on the roadway.
Even 1 Narco, single MH60 DAF, full loaded minigun, full loaded single magazine, was hybrid, 4-5 apart goes.
Be advised, I got contact in building 11, 12, and 61.
Okay, affirm, there's a starter shirt, you south, orders are carrying. Even 1 Narco. Contact in building 11, 12. Which to go red? People come up the road now. Do you have your east south set? We're about to. Okay, next call. Contact in building 11, 12, 61.
All elements, you are welcome straight.
Trying to say about that, like, this is you guys are weapons on.
Copy that. We're tracking Roger. I'll hit him.
Coming in, looking south.
Roger, you're welcome. Going. Stay by Mulder, GPS, frag with normal teachings.
Marco trying to Frankie coming out, sparkling.
Roger, you're welcome.
Contact your Sparkle, ground team's coming in.
Yo, this shit look intense as fuck, son.
191.
Yo, Jimmy.
1914, I got that shots down on. Everything one established beyond.
Marco. 1-1 is north containment, alright?
Whether you're trying to get your ideas down, compose a message, or reply to someone, it can be difficult to write well and write fast. With Grammarly Go, you can face any writing dilemma with confidence. It brings generative AI to the platforms you rely on for productivity, so you can fill any blank page with quality writing. Start by personalizing your voice. Select preferred tones and add professional info so the text you generate is authentic to you. Now, you're ready to write. Starting from scratch, Grammarly Go's got you. Collaborating with AI is a click away. Choose from hundreds of suggested prompts, or type in your own prompt to generate text based on what you need. And there you have it, a helpful outline.
Roger, 1-1, north and south for 7.
Roger, containment set, ISO set, assault this 160, clear to assault building a 1-1, over.
Roger, Eagles pushing to 11.
Gate here, uses gate, we're building 11. Remember this one is tricky.
Start coming. 1116, that check again. 1116, we're green on Meadow.
First floor building 11 secure. We got one down. Now we need to hit the second floor, I think it's external. Bravo.
Hog 1, Turbo.
Marco Hog 1.
Hog 1, IQ vehicles and 13 AI surgery from the door. When those vehicles enter 13 AI, high-speed control bomber plane, pilot instructions, call it. And Reaper 1, that's Turbo 6.
Narco Hog in Chimento.
All Narco 6. Yeah, I'm just gonna get direct.
Narco Hog, vehicle neutralized. I have EI running south.
Dentry, come with us. Bravo, I need you up against the walls. I need you looking at these buildings opposite side of the street.
I don't fucking with the direction I'm following with us.
Okay, then come with us. Be advised, we're focused up.
Bravo, we're
pushing up to the mobile. You guys need to be up on the mobile.
It's to our rear.
You guys got the right or left? Right.
That call, jackpot.
Roger, building 11 here.
Say mine.
Eve to me is basically freedom. It's a giant open universe where you can do whatever you want. You can have really relaxed, slow-paced stuff where you can take it easy.
Net call. We are gonna pull the casualty off target to HLZ exit. HLZ exit. Net call. All units stand by for prep for exfil.
charge off me. Let's go.
90 Cs were accounted for. Let me know.
Roger, I'm still carrying this body. I don't know if I'll be able to count.
1-2-1-6, you get a frame.
1612, Roger.
Send it.
Burning.
1-3 holding, 100 meters west, digital check.
Where are my pods? This is pod 1, 1-1 and 1-2 in this line. 1-1 and 1-2, 1-1, 1-2 right here. Where's my right pod? Over here? 1-3, 1-3, 1-4 over here. 1-3, 1-4 over here. 1-3, 1-4 over here. 1-3, 1-4 mortars.
Refill the exit.
Any shots going to that these bird?
Hold. That call, exfil.
French Lord.
Hey, HTV time 3, make sure the facility is clear. Feature room. Let's go, get in. All in, good to lift.
Reaper and Arco, Vajra again, one. You're ready. Vector control bomb with target with 1 by Hellfire, Vajra, it's gonna be a right turn, a great turn out.
That call, right hand turn off the bird. Don't get chopped up by the front rotors. Right hand turn off the bird, over.
All Narco, keep already copy here.
I'm ready, that's purple.
Hold on. I buckle up.
You're right with the outside of town.
Not sure if it's craft to the
Acknowledge.
Great, one Narco, just put it down in the ASR somewhere. Don't get it directed front.
Put it down and say start front. Yeah, right here.
That's a hog to left.
More like 20 seconds, 20 seconds.
This is offensive, it's 0, 5, 8, break, 2, 0, 1. 0, 5,
This pad right below you, is clear.
Yes, call, 20 seconds, 20 seconds.
Lock it up.
Got eyes on 002, looks like minimal estimate 10 EI inside AO with arms technical inside compound. Several vehicles scattered within woodlines abandoned. They do have a recon scout team 2-man up on a hilltop at grid ref 069200. Break.
1116, confirming you got pairs back.
No matter who you are, being yourself can be tough when you have severe asthma. Triggers can pop up out of nowhere.
to attempt to participate in our exfil and contain it. So we got lots of folks way out in the east and south.
Okay, so north is still looking okay?
At this time, yes.
Okay. Hey, net call. Here's the change. ORP is getting changed to just the release point, okay? So the white ORP marker serves as release point. From this position, we will detach, move to the ORP, and as you hit that ORP, squads will release. Let me get leader shuttle center. Alright, you're gonna lead out from here to the release point, or the ORP marker south. As the second we hit the ORP, we're gonna start pre-assault fires, okay? 8s. The second 1-1 reports crossing release point, initiate fires. 1-1, you can hold at the LCC until we call fires complete. Otherwise, it's the same plan. We're gonna take it real slow. There's like a platoon out here, so might end up having to fucking go baseball. We'll just hold what we got, let air work, soften it up, and then continue working the plan. Got it? Alright, Kilo 1-1, this is 1-6. Stand by to push out from the 3 o'clock. 1-9 will count you out. Yeah, 1-3's gonna sit there. Hey, 1-1, you get a punch?
We're gonna punch.
Okay, 3 o'clock, you'll see 1-9 count you out from near that big tree on the right.
Big tree on the right, Roger.
Alpha,
file on me.
Maybe send some of these two guys.
This is Reaper, be advised. Got a second armed technical just arrived, parking up next to the original.
Next call, what kind of technical approaches URP at this time?
8-1-6, you're good to release weapons. Net call. Pre-assault fires are initiating.
Pre-assault fires are initiating. 1-1. Demon 1, Alex 1, and Reaper 1, Narco. Target Alpha 001. Execute, execute, execute.
Reaper pickle.
Demon rifle.
That sounds right.
Demon 1 splash. Stand up, BDA.
Demon back. Set up, Demon. Demon, BDA estimate, over. Demon, flash, no movement, inside the bunker.
We got a flare. Supervisor, 100 meters out.
1116, I get big.
We're clear to continue to our containment.
1 Alpha at LCC.
Net call, yeah, you're on weapons forever. Watch for the flare, watch for the flare.
On my lays from the north.
Watching the completely south now.
Okay, red team, take care of that sparkle. Blue team, take care of that enemy vehicle coming from the north.
Next call, rifle.
Here's that flare. HQ co-located CCTY LCC. That's bad news. 11160. 1316, follow the 1-1, help establish containment. 1-3, follow the 1-1, help establish containment.
Guys, 1 Alpha's hit. Medic.
Where's contact come?
Right front south.
1-6, pop up the 1-1, help establish containment.
Say again, last.
1-3, pop up to 1-1, help establish containment.
1-3.
Red, go.
Red, let's go.
Red team, your containment north. Red team, your containment north. Blue team.
Give me.
Bang, Narco, I got multiple.
Bears, can you hit that one below? Miller, chip off Bears. We're gonna clip up. Flight club.
1-6, 1-2.
Send it 1-2.
Be advised, one side element, tree line, west, 1-1, 100 meters.
Roger. Hey, Marty.
Tonight. Storms have arrived. No one trusts anyone anymore.
The door has been sabotaged.
Grammarly Go is the only generative AI product that you need. It's easy to use in the place.
We are establishing dominance early.
wanted to start a business.
Jess, you need to sell those.
And then this happened.
Oh my gosh, I just made my first sale!
You see, every day, hundreds of businesses get their first sale on Shopify. And the next could be you. So when you're ready to start your business, build it on Shopify.
On a day without migraine, my whole body feels free. Because my eyes don't shy from the light, my head doesn't pound, and my stomach isn't nauseous.
This vehicle needs repair.
staying in the tank the whole time? Bro, I thought you would have got out the tank and did something else. But nah, this nigga is...
Use 80% less water than hand wash and save $130 on utilities. Cascade.
We are establishing dominance early.
Marking location of hostile tank.
The enemy has taken Bravo sector. We're targeting an objective in Alpha sector.
Stay in the distance.
We have secured Alpha sector. Seizing sectors and holding them. Excellent work. An objective in Alpha sector is under attack.
All right, check the area for targets. Gallery loaded. Marking position of enemy transport. Grenade out! Marking position of enemy transport.
recordings just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that local recordings are now available on StreamYard. Have you ever done a recording where your guests just had terrible internet issues? They were blurry, they were freezing, you could almost hardly hear them. Well, with local recordings from StreamYard, you'll be able to download a perfect quality video from your guests after the show. This means that no matter what you or your guest's internet connection is like, you'll be able to download the perfect hot.
I took the Google IT support certificate, I didn't have any background with IT, and now I'm working full-time as a service desk specialist. I feel like I found my calling.
Get flexible online training for in-demand jobs and achieve what matters to you. It starts with a Google Career Certificate.
I pay with my credit card, and then Melio sends you a check. Or a bank transfer. Your choice.
When I built this business, we didn't have payment solutions like Melio. Fancy business payment solutions. But this great grandson of mine puts everything on his credit card, and Melio sends payments to his vendors.
Paying business bills with Melio means you get to choose the payment method that works best for you. So you can pay vendors with your credit card, even if they only accept checks. This means you can hold on to cash longer and maximize rewards like miles, points, and cash back. Sign up for Melio now.
Be like a boss.
Yeah, sure.
Falcon, and today on GameRank's 10 horrifying video game fan theories. Starting off at number 10, there's a theory that in Fallout 4 there is a plague coming. Now, the game has a fairly straightforward plot, but there is a lot of room for interpretation in Fallout 4, just by nature, like by including stuff like synths, nearly perfect robot copies of humans. That makes it so that there's going to be theories about who is and isn't a synth. And one of the most popular theories is that your player character is actually a synth. That's only scratching the surface of the mysterious elements of Fallout 4, though, and while I could easily spend time focusing on the synth angle, instead, let's look at one of the lesser-known fan theories that is especially horrifying in a post-COVID world. In the lore of the series, the world was in a pretty terrible state before the actual apocalypse happened. There was social unrest, endless wars over limited resources, and a highly contagious virus simply called the New Plague, which was sweeping the nation. Now, eventually a cure was derived that maybe wasn't great in terms of its effects. It was the precursor to the FEV, the Forced Evolutionary Virus, which is the origin of the super mutants. FEV comes up a lot in the series, but the plague that precipitated its creation is not mentioned a whole lot. That is, unless you believe the fan theories, because then there's a mission called Long Road Ahead. It's a companion mission for MacCready where he tells you about a mysterious illness affecting his son and that blue boils are popping up all over his body. Another name for the new plague was the Blue Flu. So I think you might be starting to see where I'm going with this. The actual description of the new plague from Fallout doesn't match what's described in Fallout 4, but that could just be creative license. The actual goal of the mission is to find a cure in the MedTech facility, which apparently only gets you one dose, which would be fine if this mysterious illness was just affecting MacCready's kid.
Holy crap, we actually did it! We just gave Duncan a fighting chance to live. I don't know how I'll ever be able to pay you back for this.
But there's other characters described as coming down with similar symptoms. If the plague is as bad as previous Fallout games make it sound, the Commonwealth is horribly unprepared for the level of sickness and death that's about to descend upon it because of this plague. It's never explicitly said where the illness originated from, or if there are any more cures out there, and if this is the only one, it's possible your character just condemned the entire Legion to a slow-motion death sentence. Or maybe it's just supposed to be some unknown illness that doesn't matter. Knowing Bethesda, it could really go either way. And number 9 is Mass Effect's indoctrination theory. I don't think I'm going too far in saying the conclusion of Mass Effect was divisive. A lot of people hated the way the third game ended, and they were looking for something, like just anything to justify the fandom, and that's how indoctrination theory was born. In the collective disillusionment of an entire fan base, one of the most famous fan theories out there, not just because of how often it's repeated, but because of how insidiously plausible it actually is. It's such a common and widespread theory that many people just treat it as fact, or at least intended as the actual reading you're supposed to take, which is not the case. Folks are free to interpret the ending however they want, obviously, but BioWare has never directly said that this theory is intended to be the thing. To explain the theory, I gotta lay a little groundwork. The Mass Effect games, the way the Reapers control people, they have this process called indoctrination.
It's called indoctrination. Direct exposure to the signal turns you into a mindless slave, like the Solarian test subjects. But there's collateral damage, too.
It's intentionally subtle so that the person being controlled isn't aware of it. Throughout the series, your character probably comes into contact with Reaper technology more than anyone else, and somehow they manage to keep control. Well, at least according to the main narrative. The indoctrination theory says otherwise. Depending on who you ask, either Shepard slowly loses control over the 3 games, or they're rendered unconscious and fully indoctrinated during the finale of Mass Effect 3. Either way, the theory posits 3 choices of destruction, control, and synthesis. They're actually a trick. The information presented to you is wrong because the Reapers want you to make a choice that keeps them alive. That's why the otherwise obvious choice of destruction, where you kill all the Reapers, is rendered red, aka renegade, aka evil in the final game, and the choice of control, where you control the Reapers, which in almost any other game would be considered an evil choice, is rendered blue. Now, it's not just that the ending choices are weird and unsatisfying, but instead, it's the Reapers trying to trick you. And it's actually pretty creepy, if you think about it. The entire ending sequence is an illusion that's meant to make you think you're doing the right thing, when in reality, you're dooming humanity. It's a theory that does make a certain amount of sense, and adds a layer of horror to the entire sequence that, honestly, it's kind of lacking any stakes. So, it makes sense that people latched onto it.
Can't take that chance. No chance. I need to do what it says. I have to. Let me out.
Let me out! Let me out! Let me out! Let me out!
And number 8, in Silent Hill 2, the theory that Mary is in the car. It's another one that's just accepted as fact by fans, but may or may not actually be the case. In Silent Hill 2, you play as James, a man drawn to the town of Silent Hill, after receiving a letter from his wife telling him to meet her there. Only problem, his wife is dead.
A dead person can't write a letter. Mary died of that damn disease 3 years ago.
What starts out as a supernatural mystery gets a lot more real as time goes on, and ultimately it's revealed that James' wife suffered a debilitating illness, and James killed her after she asked him to end her suffering. It's some serious, grim stuff, but if you ascribe to this theory, it gets worse. The game makes it clear that James either repressed his role in his wife's death or is in denial, which is why he acts like an old letter telling him to go to Silent Hill is real. The denial may even be worse, because it's possible he's got his wife's dead body in the car with him. People have said it's in the truck, while the director of the second game, Masahiro Ito, has said the body is actually in the back seat. This is one of those rare fan theories that's actually commented on by the creator, and while his tweet sounds like a pretty clear-cut confirmation, he's also been known to jerk people around with their theories, and other people who worked on the game have contradicted what he said. Either way, it's a pretty nasty secret, just hiding inches away from you at the start of the game. If you could just open up the trunk and see what's inside, we'd know for certain if there's a rotting corpse there, but there's not really any way to find out.
It's defined differently by anyone you ask, yet it defines who we are. It takes guts, grit, and a whole lot of work. With every heartbeat and every heartbreak, every stepping stone and every milestone, for all the moments that matter, we'll be there.
The idea of having one stream of income just didn't sit well with me. Hi, I'm Liv. I run Doppelgrass, a print and design studio specializing in risograph print, branding, and web design. Running a multi-revenue stream business is something I've always aimed to do. So I chose Wix for my business because of its massive scope for functionality and freedom of creation. I do graphic design, web design, branding, pitches, risograph printing, events and workshops. Service-wise, that's that side of it. And then Doppel Shop, I run a shop creating all sorts of different prints and pins and t-shirts, and a lot of it is collaborative. Community, it's one of the main reasons why I love what I do, because I get to work with all sorts of different people making all sorts of unique things, and Wix as a kind of housing for that was amazing. Being able to integrate and change and develop at my own pace, it was just how it was always going to be.
And number 7 is Detroit Become Human. The theory is that the main characters are never actually self-aware. Throughout Detroit Become Human, the androids you play as and encounter are shown in a positive light. Their struggles are made to be instantly relatable. It's pretty easy to immediately accept the premise. They're guys just like us that just have glowing circles in their heads. In the world of the game, the androids that become self-aware gain the ability to think for themselves. They're called deviants, and that immediately connects their plight to real-world marginalized groups out there. Everything the game shows us makes it pretty clear we're supposed to think of the androids as basically humans who are just fighting for their rights. As AI becomes more mainstream and a greater understanding of how AI tends to function becomes more clear, the premise that androids were created sentient but their programming limited them starts to look more and more implausible. Without getting too deep in the weeds talking about AI, AI models are not sentient. They're big logic strings. We don't know exactly how they work or exactly how neural networks process data. We know that it's pretty close to how a brain works, but that's not saying that they have the capability to think, because it's if this then that logic. It's probability. When you ask ChatGPT something, it's not creatively giving you an answer. It's actually running a probability check regarding what word would more plausibly come next based on the previous word said. So if that AI in the game is anything like the AI we're experiencing in real life, this theory says that no matter how sympathetic and human-seeming the robots are, they're actually just suffering from a virus, which is what the company says. these seemingly freed machines are just pieces of property that have gone haywire, and that's an unsettling thought because it almost feels like you're being fooled. Or imagine it from the robot's mind. They believe they're intelligent beings, but they're not. There's probably a Black Mirror episode like that, and if there isn't, maybe that's a good premise. The game really does go out of its way to make you think that yes, these robots have intelligence, but this is a fan theory that's hard to ignore because of the real world implication. And man, is it interesting. At number 6 is Majora's Mask, the idea that the game is a metaphor for the 5 stages of grief. There's a ton of blank was actually dead the whole time theories out there. Seriously, there are a dime a dozen. This may be one of the first, at least one of the first that's actually a little plausible. How the theory goes is that instead of the game starting with Link going into the Lost Woods and getting lost, which leads to him arriving at a new country of Termina, he goes into the Lost Woods and dies. It might seem totally arbitrary, but there is actually something to this theory, because it's said that if you go into the Lost Woods without a fairy, you're doomed to become a Stalfos, aka a skeleton. And Link didn't start the game with a fairy, so he's a skeleton. Everything that happens afterward is just his final hallucination before death, or maybe he's in limbo, or something like that. The part of this theory that ties it together is how each major area reflects one of the 5 stages of grief. Clocktown is denial, where everyone's partying and pretending like the end of the world isn't happening. The swamp is anger, the mountains are bargaining, the bay is depression, and Icona is acceptance. These actually do map pretty well on each zone, so even if you don't like the whole Link is actually dead thing, the metaphor angle still holds up. Dead the whole time theory is pretty tired at this point, but Majora's Mask is such a mournful and creepy game anyway, it kind of just fits into the whole identity. And even if Link is not already dead the whole time, I totally buy the 5 stages of grief thing.
Amanda?
And number 5, in Dark Souls, the idea that the Kingseeker is deceiving you. The Souls games are so vague and unclear that even the basic plot points, basically any discussion of them eventually starts getting into fan theories. At least this one, though, has a lot of basis in the actual game. At a certain point in the first Dark Souls, you meet this weird-looking serpent called Kingseeker Framped. This guy's here to give you some actual exposition towards your goal. He wants you to gather the Lord Souls, open the passage to the Kiln of the First Flame, and link the fire. Basically, you're restoring light to the world. All sounds pretty heroic, and it seems like everything he's telling you is true. The thing he neglects to inform you is that, oh yeah, there's another serpent out there who has a different idea in mind. You can go through the entire game without ever finding Dogstalker Kath, but if you do, then they'll give you a lot more information as to what's actually going on as compared to Frampty. Yeah, old Frampty might be trying to trick you, and that's what the fan theories are saying.
As the primordial serpent, I implore you to defeat them and claim their souls. Let there be no guilt. Let there be no vacillation.
We know for certain he's not being totally honest about what it takes to link the flame, which is to stand in the forge for eternity as fuel for it. It's likely that he's also connected to the illusional at Orlando, the home of the gods, that's actually decrepit and abandoned. It's safe to say that your guy doesn't have your best interest at heart, but those are lies of omission. The question is it worse than that? There is already something creepy about this dude, but there's just something really unpleasant about a character who, in any other game you could trust, but here there's just something not right about him. There is enough here to condemn him, but they leave things open-ended enough so you're never 100% clear whether the Kingseeker is trying to help you or manipulate you into doing its bidding. And number 4 is Animal Crossing's abduction theory. The Animal Crossing games are two things: ridiculously wholesome and relentlessly strange, which is a powerful combo that leads to some pretty insane fan theories. The abduction theory is by far and away the most popular, because it does explain so much, and it's also pretty creepy. The basic theory states that rather than being a kid moving into some kind of fantasy town with animal buddies, you're a kidnapping victim that's been brainwashed and forced to serve slave labor in this rural town run by cultists, or something like that. I don't know if the details are completely correct there. Now, there's not a lot of evidence to support the theory other than it's creepy, but at least in the first game, there's a few clues that point to something like this. Maybe not necessarily this exactly, but something. For one thing, the first game has a turtle character named Captain, which is based on the Japanese yokai, the Kappa. These things are in town to take children against their will, and have been depicted as creepy by a lot of Japanese media. And then there's Tom Nook. Everybody likes talking about Tom Nook as a greedy guy, but it may not be greed. The debt could be a tool as opposed to the goal. And he starts piling that on you the second you get into debt. He's like that crazy. It's easy to read what happens as being indentured servitude or worse. Now, taking a cute game and imagining some kind of dark underbelly is pretty standard for these kinds of fan theories, but spending enough time with these games, it gets harder and harder to shake the feeling there's something wrong in the world of Animal Crossing, even if it's not exactly this. And number 3, in Skate 3, you die, or perhaps you're in a coma. Of all the games out there, you'd think Skate 3 would be pretty low on the list of possible horrifying fan theories, but here we are. There's already something uncanny about the world of Skate 3 that makes it feel like purgatory or limbo. There's hardly any people, the city connects together in a few weird ways, and everything just plays out a little too perfectly for your character. All this after somehow surviving a massive fall during the opening cutscene of the game. And somehow Isaac is back, even though the previous game straight up said that he died in an earthquake. What's more plausible, that he somehow came back to life, or that you're in a fever dream or in limbo? It's possible the developers just changed their minds and retconned his death, but ignore that. That's irresponsible game development, and we're not going to pretend that that's a thing. We're going to say that there's information within inside the game that justifies any of these decisions, okay? Right? I might be interminable myself, but I think there's enough to go on that's possible to think of the game as some kind of death fantasy, because it's literally the skateboarder's paradise. The game already feels like you're kind of a ghost in the world, but then the starting crash, I feel like, cements it. Maybe it's the right thing, even if it's not the intended thing.
This is a warning. Evil is on board this ship. The devil is real. His name is Dracula.
And number 2, a commonly held fan theory about Pikmin is that it takes place on a post-apocalyptic Earth. Now, the Nintendo franchise is mostly about herding around cute little plant guys, but the theory is that it's set in a desolate, abandoned Earth hundreds of years in the future. And honestly, it's really easy to see how someone might think that. I pretty much subscribe to this. I really enjoy the Pikmin games, and you find all these eventual signs of civilization, particularly in the latter games. It adds an air of melancholy to an otherwise really upbeat game. You find, like, human stuff littered around, trash, old bicycles and stuff like that, buckets. It adds an air of melancholy to an otherwise upbeat game. According to the developers, though, it's not post-apocalyptic. They say that